I often try to communicate and talk about how I was raised. I think it's an informing way to go about things. It's illustrative of probably a lot of people's experiences. Raised by a white Christian nationalist set of parents, I moved around a lot as a kid, but from one evangelical freak show church to the next, more and more radical, seemingly every single congregation that we attended, oftentimes shifting between church to church within communities because the one we initially went to wasn't radical enough. And all the while being taught by pastors and grifters throughout my childhood about the love of Christ, about the basic fundamental tenets of Christianity. This is in the 80s. And a lot of that stuff stuck with me. It was formative about taking care of people, about equality. I've said this in the past that I couldn't even watch, not that I couldn't, but it would irritate me to watch the show Cops, bad boys, bad. I couldn't even watch that as a kid and into young adulthood because I would be so outraged by police violating people's rights, usually Fourth Amendment rights, because of the things that were taught to me as a child. And I carried that with me. And some of that's the reason why it was relatively easy for me to get rid of any adherence or loyalty to the Republican Party because they abandoned the principles they said they stood for. Now, let me get to this. I found this video on TikTok. I don't know where I found it, but this guy nails it. His handle is JS Wag. It looks like JS Wa Genius. Yeah, I'll put it on screen here. And he, far more eloquently than I just did, just distillates what I just said in a fantastic way that I want you to hear. Because this, if you could just imagine my stupid giant pumpkin head on his body, this is what I've been trying to communicate all of these years about me leaving the Republican Party. His life seems to have taken a similar trajectory of mine. Now, I guess he's a content creator, whatever, but he was in the military. He chose to serve for the same reasons I did, as he states, and it's just awesome. So watch this, and we'll talk about it and some of the concepts on the other side.
I want to take a moment and I want to talk to all those Republican conservatives that raised me. About 4 words: freedom, faith, our flag, and our money. When I was a kid, I believed you guys. I invested everything in what you told me. You told me to be loving, to be kind, to care about the person in need because the Bible said so. Here we are in 2024. I'm 38 years old and I realized that is nothing but a hollow Easter egg. You didn't mean any of it. Your actions show me that you didn't mean any of it. You told me it was a land of the free, home of the brave, so I suited up and I joined, signed my name on the dotted line, have spent the last nearly 20 years serving because I truly believe in freedom, only to find out that you guys don't. You don't believe in freedom. Snatching women's rights, women's freedoms daily. Chiseling away at black Americans' freedom to vote. Taking away our freedom to read the books that we want to read. Freedom to parent our kids the way we see fit. And not letting the government invade our homes. You have joined the big government. You, conservatives, have joined the big government in stomping on parental freedom. Our flag. Our beautiful red, white, and blue. You guys have pissed on it with all your blue Trump flags. Disgusting across our lands. It's ugly, and I'm sick of it. That's what a real flag looks like, and guess what? Trump's ugly-ass criminal name is not on it. And your man, whose flag you fly so proudly outside your homes, ran up our deficit more than any president in the history of our great nation. Anyway, I had to get that off my chest. Every one of you conservatives that told me all that stuff lied. You're full of hot farts. And contrary to what you said, real patriotism exists on the left. Not the right, not these days. You guys burned that down years ago. You gave up on this flag in exchange for a criminal cult leader. Your loss. Sad, really. Had to get it off my chest. Thanks for listening.
No need to thank us for listening. Thank you for saying it. This is just a beautiful way to say what I've been saying for so many years, and in maybe more clumsily, as I'm trying to get it out now. And it's awesome. This mirrors how I was raised. A lot of the things I talked about at the top of the video, I could repeat, but he said it so succinctly that he was taught about loving and kindness and taking care of people in need. And then what does the Republican Party act like they stand, or they don't act like they stand for? They absolutely reject that. Their disdain and hatred and vitriol and fear-mongering surrounding refugees while claiming to serve a God, a deity that was he himself a refugee. It's just, remember when people used to wear the bracelets in the 2000s and I guess maybe the 90s, the WWJD, what would Jesus do? You don't see those anymore. It's not a question that's asked anymore, is what would Jesus do? They should supplant, they should just mix it up and have a WWDJTD. What would Donald J. Trump do? What kind of policy could we enact that would absolutely fly in the face of the philosophies taught in the Bible, in the New Testament, in the red letters of the New Testament, which famously are the words of Jesus Christ himself? They don't say that anymore. In fact, I've talked in the past and read headlines and interviews with pastors who say that people come up to them after sermons and say, "What was all that woke crap?" Well, that was what Jesus taught. No. Yeah, that's not for today. That made it work then. That doesn't work today. That's weakness. They don't care about their faith. They have so little loyalty to their own religion, their own self-proclaimed, deeply held religious beliefs, just like they have no adherence or understanding of the Constitution that they claim to support. Because it's a cult. You can't serve effectively. You cannot serve two gods, two lords. You can't serve the Trump cult and Christianity because they just don't. It's oil and water. It's two different, fundamentally separate ideologies. Hatred and fear versus love and kindness and acceptance. I mean, come on. Maybe I'm going to end it there before I get myself in trouble. Anyway, what do you think? What do you think? I would love to hear from people who were raised like me, like this gentleman here. If you know this guy, get a hold of him. Have him reach out to me. Love to hear. You can leave a comment below. We can have a conversation there. That'll trigger YouTube to share this content with new prospective audience members. That would be fantastic. You can also call and get your voice on the record, 714-576-4054. And of course, as always, you can email me daily@dollemore.com. Did I drag that out enough? Did I give it enough time for the graphic to run? Little peek behind the curtain. Hey, the other thing I would ask is that if you are in a financial position to do so, not if you're on a fixed budget. I know $2 it's not a lot, but to some people it is a lot. So if you're in a financial position, $2 doesn't mean anything to you. You can throw it away, throw it my direction. I would appreciate it. It helps me produce these videos. Click the join button for $2 a month. You can become a channel member. You can also go over to patreon.com/IDoubtItPodcast. Both those are great ways to help support. You can also buy some merch. Go to dollemore.info and that'll redirect you to the Teespring store where you can buy some merch with our logo or Fight Poverty, Not the Poor. Poverty is a public policy choice. We've got all kinds of awesome designs, and that goes a long way to supporting too. Follow me on social media if that's your thing. Do not sign up to do it. But if you're already there, I'm at Dollemore. I'd love to see you. And I will see you next time. Until then, be genuine. Take care of one another.